Welcome back to another round of the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament from Bologna, our prestigious, beloved public event. And we have another crazy cool matchup for you guys.
We do indeed. We do start off with a set monster from a top player. And look, finally we get to match our playmats here. Finally, the super nimble Mega Hamster is attacked into with a Sangan. So that's quite the good start here, because you do get to keep the hamster around and you get a Raikou for free here for our top Blackwing player.
See, this is like exactly what stubbing your toe into the kitchen table feels like when you attack with Sangan into a super nimble Mega Hamster. This is just so unfortunate. Then he also sets a card, which I'm quite curious what the reasoning for this is, because you know that there is a Raikou. You know that there is a Raikou. So let's see what card is set there. Maybe a Legacy of Yatagarasu.
In case you didn't know, now you know. Oh, Torrential Tribute is quite good there. Oh, and we do see three cards. No value being generated off of that Raikou. Instead, the Sangan will now generate some value. So that Torrential Tribute honestly was quite nice.
I disagree heavily, Sebastian.
Why? I mean, it's not the worst.
You get to play, but this Torrential Tribute kind of just got rid of a hamster. Essentially, you traded the hamster for a Torrential Tribute, and I would, on the hamster side of things, I would take this every single day.
Fair enough. I mean, you could have also just held the Torrential, and then when they are committing another monster onto the field, just go for the Torrential Tribute the turn after, right? That probably would have been a little bit better. But now, we do see the top player, the Blackwing player. And I mean, we have to mention it, of course, Blackwing probably being the deck of the Time Wizard 2010 format, right? I think it's accepted amongst players that this is considered to be the best deck, and we do see now why sometimes it is considered to be that, because we do just go for Dark Refer, discard Shiroko, which is so explosive.
That is an aggressive play here. Special summoning Dark Refer by discarding a card. So we essentially just got rid of 2 cards from our hand. Now we have 3 Darks Engrave. Now it is 4 Darks Engrave. But we have the Plague Spreader Zombie here, so we can get rid of one of them. And if we have the big boss of the 2010 Time Wizard format, it is going to come down to the field now.
Wow.
Now we see Dark Armed Dragon, beautiful Secret Rare, followed up by a reinforcement of the army. Apparently we didn't like the card that we put on top of our deck. Normal summons Armageddon Knight. It's not stopping here. We send another value, and that means another thing. We can go for an Armed Wing, use the Armed Wing with the Plague Spreader, and then go for another value effect from the graveyard. And this easily looks like we can put up 8,000 damage here.
This is the most explosive I've seen in quite a while in Time Wizard 2010. This almost looks like a 2025 deck, honestly, with the speed it is bringing to the table right now. Holy. We do go for a Synchro Summon. We're offering the cut to our opponent. I don't know whether it's going to be very needed for this game here.
I'm very happy that our bottom player decided to just put the graveyard back together, because they couldn't take it anymore, having the graveyard in 2 monster zones. So I think, we have 3,100 from the 2 warriors. We have 2,800, which would be 9 in terms of damage. So already we have game on the field. Is there a way we can use our Synchro Summons to get more use out of it? Because if there is a Gortz, that's fine, right? We have Dark Armed Dragon to deal with that. So I don't necessarily
we do go on though.
Much. I don't think you need to do that. Oh, we're putting the...
yeah, the Armed Wing was in the graveyard, but maybe not. Okay, now it is.
3-1 plus 2-8 is 5-9.
I think it's still game with a big synchro here, right? Yeah, pretty certainly. Like Stardust Dragon.
I mean, now you have an Armor Master as well from the graveyard.
True. We go for Dark and Dragon here, which is an odd choice to me, to be honest.
Yeah, this plays around Gortz a lot less, because if Gortz comes down, you don't lose the game on the spot, or you don't win the game on the spot, and then you're vulnerable to
Wow!
But that's not the case. We just go for game here. We just attack over everything. Big. what an aggressive start to the game. Sangan into Hamster is horrendous, and I can tell you a solid reasoning why you would set the Torrential Tribute there. And that is... Well, actually... Yes, so if your opponent has a Caius, and this is like the combo from back in the day when everyone was fearful of Hamster into Caius, then you're in a really tough spot. Because if you don't set your Torrential Tribute in that slot, your opponent is just gonna tribute the Hamster, banish your Sangan, leaves you with no resources, and still has the Raikou set. So you have to use the Torrential Tribute to bait out the Raikou and not let your opponent hit you with a Caius. So
I actually like that reasoning.
Yeah, I think it was the correct choice. But, I mean, it's a tough one to make because it depends on the situation you're in the tournament. And I like this one because it was a little bit safer in game 1 of a game. I think in a game 3, when it's 1-1 already and you can't afford to lose a game anymore, I wouldn't do it. I would be like, hey, if you have Hamster plus Caius versus my hand, then you're gonna win this game probably regardless. So I think in this spot I can see the Torrential as a safer option to not immediately lose the game. I like this.
Yeah, but I like it. Even though the format is almost 15 years old, still it is debatable whether decisions are correct or not. And it's a very skillful format, and that's why people are also very much enjoying it, because it does give you very much room for interaction, very much room for making critical thinking and making critical decisions in the right moment. And I think that's a big part on why this format is so beloved by the community. And yeah, we're also still learning to this day. We're learning by the best of Europe here, showcasing their talent in this Ultimate Time Wizard tournament from Bologna. And yeah, I hope everyone at home also is taking notes of that fabulous Time Wizard 2010 gameplay here.
Completely different topic now. Basti, when were you the last time as excited as the Super Nimble Mega Hamster is excited about anything? Like, look at the sparkle in his eyes. When was the last time you had that?
Probably when I saw you for the last time. Must have been that.
Oh, I was gonna say when Crossover Breakers released.
Yeah, but Crossover Breakers, of course, for the Time Wizard enthusiasts, not as relevant. Or were there any Time Wizard reprints in there? I don't even recall.
Yeah, Excitement Night, not 2010 relevant, but
yeah, I guess for the later
2014
stages.
enjoyers.
For sure. Let's hope we do get to enjoy. I mean, it was impressive to see how quick that Blackwing deck there was, but of course not as enjoyable for the Frog Monarch player on the bottom, as he barely got to participate in this game there. So for his sake, I hope that we're going to see a little bit longer of a game 2 here, where he can just showcase his deck a little bit better. And you can see him currently going through his deck, and honestly, in my memory, the Frog Monarch deck, and tell me if I missed some development there, because clearly there's something different going on here. In my memory, the deck didn't necessarily really play any trap cards like Dimensional Prison and Bottomless Trap Hole and stuff like that, but I think he's actually running both of these. Because I always thought you're not playing trap cards that could stay on the field for a turn because of your Treeborn Frog always willing to come back, and you just played like Raigeki Break, Enemy Controller, and of course also Legacy of Yatagarasu, but what could be a reasoning for also including all those other trap cards?
I mean, the thing is you have to be kind of smart with it, right? So if you're in a rather open game state and it doesn't look like your opponent is going to win in the next turn, don't set the card.
Okay.
So if you feel the need to play more defensively, you're gonna probably use it anyways, so that it's not gonna be there when it is your standby phase again, so the Treeborn Frog can return. So I think that Dimensional Prison is rather a card that you can play, but you want to set it when there is the target for it on the field, you know, and not you don't T-pass. You don't just set Treeborn Frog with a Dimensional Prison.
Yeah. I understand. And now game number 2 on our hands. How is the start going to look this time around? Do we finally draw Monarchs? It feels like that is what all those Monarch players have been doing throughout our coverage of this Ultimate Time Wizard tournament from Bologna. They have just not drawn Monarchs. They were just purely playing Frogs, and none of them actually accessed their Monarchs in the deck. Hopefully some Monarchs here in game number 2 for this player here.
The deck definitely has some big consistency issues. That is mainly due to not wanting to play too many Monarchs, you know. You can bounce them back with Swap Frogs, so you can push for damage, add them back, summon them back in the next turn. So once you have your engine rolling, once you have your Monarchs, it seems you're good to go. But that also means that sometimes if you're unlucky, you don't draw them. And I think if you're playing like an 11-round tournament, chances are you're not drawing them at some point. So this is, it's again, it feels like Monarchs from 2016, right? Where you have consistency issues.
There comes the Swap Frogs, so we do immediately have the Frogs roll in. On the first turn, you don't want to summon out any Monarchs anyway, so that's sort of a start you're hoping for, getting the Treeborn Frog into the graveyard right away. Therefore, we are quite excited, quite happy about it. Do we set any cards here? We just put the Swap Frog back into the hand, and I think overall... no set cards. Wait, for a moment I was wondering where the deck... Oh, 2 set cards now. That's a lot. I was wondering where the deck from our Blackwing players is, but it's he's left-handed, and it always looks kind of weird, to be honest.
Oh yeah, and we don't put that in that zone necessarily.
Yeah.
That is
Either
either the
Knight.
graveyard or the field zone. If you're left-handed, of course you can swap this around, but your deck is not in defensive position. In banishment, almost.
That's true. Okay, we do go Armageddon Knight. What's the card we're sending here? I mean, in another one of those matches from Bologna, we saw someone even main decking Deck Devastation Virus. And I think the popularity of the Frog deck may play a role in that, because they are playing a lot of small monsters. It's pretty good to hit cards like Battle Fader as well before they can activate it. And therefore I think this card definitely also is somewhat tailored towards that matchup, to be honest.
Getting rid of Raikou is also very strong.
Oh,
Of course,
very,
the
very.
information as well. Sending the Necrogard is also very interesting line of play. I've seen loads of Blackwing players normal summon Armageddon Knight with no resources in the graveyard, send Plague Spreader Zombie or Necrogardner. Something I can agree, because you don't want to send just like a Vayu and then do nothing with it because you can't. But then again, it also slows you down a little bit, right? If you have a Raikou later on in the game and you mill nothing, that also doesn't feel too good. So I don't know. The Necrogardner is... I'm still torn. I haven't made up my mind yet.
Okay, 1 for 1. So we again blocked ourselves from summoning out the Treeborn Frog, and now there is Royal Oppression answering 1 for 1. Royal Oppression stays on the field. Raigeki Break, okay, it does not stay on the field, but still it forced out an additional discard there for the Raigeki Break and the Raigeki Break itself. So that's definitely quite tough news. I think rather for the Frog player, to be honest here, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources used into summoning either a Battle Fader or a Treeborn Frog or a Substitute.
Yep.
But, I mean, your opponent doesn't have a lot to play with. You can destroy the other set card, leave Oppression on the field, and wait until you get a Monarch, because Oppression can attempt to negate Treeborn Frog, but Treeborn Frog is going to get to the field no matter what.
Yep, that is fair. Unifrog.
It can attack directly.
It can, absolutely, and that is why it is so cool, because it can not only attack directly, but then, when it successfully attacks directly, if you control a frog monster other than Frog the Gem or Unifrog, so right now that doesn't apply, you could also destroy a spell or trap card from your opponent. And yeah, the opponent is double checking here, but right now, it's just purely a direct attack without any additional upside. So it will only be the 400 attack points that go through, and I think they both agreed on this being just fine for the both of them. Don't think that's too big of an issue. Yeah?
Card says, if you control a frog monster other than Frog the Gem or... Oh, that's... Dude, reading cards is hard.
Yep,
forget I said anything. Alright. So, I mean, this was... I don't know if the player was aware of this.
I mean,
maybe
wait, you could have normed the...
Yeah.
You could have normed the... substitute
Substitute
before.
before that. Go through everything and then... I mean, then you can't really necessarily dupe block. You can summon a dupe frog and have it not be destroyed by battle. That's...
Yeah,
I
true.
think we could have gotten rid of the set card as well.
Swap frog.
Some kind of a lock setup. And yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we just took the little bit of extra damage, fair enough, and now we get to set up a defensive wall once again, as this Frog Monarch deck and any kind of frog deck at the moment likes to do. Double dupe. Yeah. The opponent is duped now into not knowing who to attack anymore, because both of the dupe frogs preventing attacking any other monster than itself, and so it goes back and forth and nobody can be attacked here.
Perfect. Unless you have Drill Warrior that can attack directly.
True,
The thing is that this deck doesn't necessarily struggle with getting rid of monsters. You have Caius, you have a halved dupe frog. Oh, we have seen this earlier that someone tried to attack into the dupe frog, so we're going to see it again. Because the level 7 synchro that you can make, I don't think you want to make here.
Not really, no. But maybe there's something like a brain control. Also, furiously shuffling his cards in hand there, right? It's only 2 cards, but they're moving in lightning speed there between his hands. It's actually exciting to watch.
I can't even see what it is. I think
Yeah.
Maybe we have a Solemn Judgment there, but it could be any other card as well, to be honest.
It looks like a trap card at least, fighting its way into the spell and trap zone, and a pass over.
We have Gale Pressure now, which is...
Yep, Treeborn coming back, and I think the Frog Monarch player is still waiting for the second word of his deck. He's still waiting for an actual Monarch. Oh, maybe we have just drawn it. Finally a Caius.
Oh.
There it is.
If
Oh,
it is
and
a
it is a
judgment,
Solemn
yep.
Judgment, Leo.
Yeah.
It actually is. That's rough.
This card is too much tempo in this situation. You can't let that happen. It feels super rare, Caius. Actually, Caius is
Yeah, to you, every Caius is the same, and all of them are beautiful. That's for sure.
So we can also shrink the other before now, which is exciting.
Yep, and that's what we do.
Yeah, there we go.
It's halved. And now he removes the dice because both of them are halved. Okay.
Let's be honest, it doesn't matter anyways. By the way, if you're playing in tournaments and something is halved, you can put a dice next to the card, but just rather don't put it on the card, right?
Yeah, that's a good call. Now, we're thinking about a Synchro Summon here. We are really considering it. Do we go Black Rose just to all the dupe rocks here? There's no way.
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good at all, but we do go for a Synchro Summon. Maybe it's not the Black Rose, but something else instead. Oh, it is a Black Rose Dragon, and a very ghost rare Black Rose Dragon as well. And we do give up our My Body as a shield, and of course the Black Rose itself to trade with the dupe frogs.
Oh, sorry, I had to laugh at My Body as a child. But, you could have changed My Body as a shield to the Black Rose Dragon.
You could have. Oh, what are we?
I'm not saying. Oh, I think we're discussing if the dupe frogs miss timing.
And does it?
They shouldn't, I feel like, because the last thing that happened was the activation of the destruction effect, right? Or was it?
Yeah. I agree, and it is resolving. We do get that Unifrog back into our hand, and of course, not only one dupe frog was destroyed, but also a second one. So we do, in fact, also get a swap frog from our deck into our hand as well.
They make... it's very easy to let them miss timing, but they don't miss timing every single time you destroy them.
That's true.
That's not how this works. We have a lot of resources on the side of the frog player, but what are we lacking, Basti? Pressure.
Monarchs. We're lacking Monarchs. We're lacking tribute monsters. Oh, there's a Swap Frog. Swap Frog. Is there even cards to send there anymore at this point? We went through so many of them, but yep, there's another Dupe Frog, so we may as well get it out of the way. Put it into the graveyard as well.
You might send Mobius, to be honest.
Oh, 1,000. Oh, and there's Gores.
It's big.
I mean, you kind of have to start with applying some pressure because we're so low on life points, dropping them from 34 to 2,400 now. But then the Gores, of course, as one of the 2 cards in hand, is such a big punishment.
Yeah. The thing is, I think that our top player also has Necro Gardener in graveyard and Plague Spreader Zombie. So there is
Mirror Force.
Mirror Force takes care of it. Token goes to the graveyard, of course. And we have a pass over here. So 2,400 life points left remaining. Not necessarily any Monarch isn't out here because the Monarchs put out themselves.
But is there another Treeborn? No, there's not another Treeborn. Okay.
Nobody's playing Thestalos anymore these days. Why? I miss it.
Yep, I agree.
Such a good neutral drop on an empty field.
Swap Frog does it again. 1,400, but there's Greffer discarding Scirocco. You gotta be kidding me. That is such a good top deck there again for the Blackwing player. Low on life points, but now with the absolute speed advantage here.
Yep, the good thing is that 3-1 Frog only has 100 attack points, because otherwise you could go for a card that is very similar to one of your favorite Synchro monsters, so not the Psychic and Punisher, but the Psychic. Now I forgot the name. Level 8.
Yeah, cool that you brought it up.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. We'll just run to my next grab one. The level 8 Psychic Synchro that has...
Gem Dragon Drive, probably, right? Oh wait, which one do you mean? Ah, whatever. Let's not focus on cards that are way older than way newer than 2010. We do go instead...
It's a 2010 card.
Oh! Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, you mean...
The Psychic one.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. The one that prevents targeting, right?
Targeting from spells specifically, but
yeah. Oh, DD Crow on the Scirocco. Alright, we now attack with the Greffer over the swap, over the Treeborn Frog. Do we finally find a Monarch? Any Monarch here would kind of do it, but I don't think he finds a Monarch again. Man, this is just frustrating to watch. There is now the Unifrog attacking directly. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Bringing the opponent down to a whopping total of 1,000 life points there. Or not? Oh, wait. They actually used they used the Necro Gardener on that.
Yep. This is a card of which name we can remember.
That's true. Oh, Fort Ruler. You're talking about Fort Ruler. Now we figured it out, right?
Yes, Fort Ruler Archfiend. Thank you so much.
Yes. I just remembered it. So, we do now have the attack over the Unifrog with the Dark Greffer. But when finally are we going to see a good old reliable Monarch? This is not a Monarch. This is another frog. When do the frogs end? And the Monarch start. Raikou destroys. There is another Scirocco being sent to the graveyard.
Destroyed the Swap Frog, which is interesting because, I mean, this one was in attack position, and this could have been some extra damage. I mean, at this point, you take every single bit of damage. Oh, DD Crow is being activated as there are 2 Sirocco's left in the graveyard. I mean, you can theoretically wait for it to activate.
Okay, goes back over.
Is it a dark top deck? Imagine Bio top deck now. Imagine Bio top deck. Just can imagine.
Really good. Oh, he's thinking. The pose he's doing indicates that he did draw something pretty good there. Because it makes him think. It makes him think very, very hard.
Makes you think, huh?
What is it? Oh man. What kind of card would be leading to that kind of a reaction there, honestly? Oh. Maybe we're doing math.
Are we gonna see a good old return set that is being activated?
Wow.
Yep, there we go. As soon as he touched his banished cards, I was like, yep, might be a return. We have Plague Spreader as well. Now is there
Oh
Pachy!
no.
Normal summon Pachy, now we go for damage. And this is game! We did the math, and he just runs over it. So good, the Pachy preventing Battle Fader, God's Archgirl Golia from stopping him from going to game.
And there was the Battle Fader, so we actually safely, with that Pachy, which most likely came in from the side deck, secured the victory here, and that was a whopping and clean 2-0 for our Blackwing in this additional Time Wizard 2010 match from the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament in Bologna. Hope everyone enjoyed. See you for another one here on the channel very, very soon.